Hey everybody, this is David here, aka Chessman, and today we're going to be going over some games from Magnus Carlsen. We're going to be looking at what openings he used in a recent tournament he was in. Um, if you don't know already, there's this website called 365chess.com, and it's a great resource. And one of the resources there is at the bottom of the screen, you can go players by rating. So if you ever want to know who's the best players in the world, you click that and then it gives you a list. And today we're going to look at the number one player, Magnus Carlsen. He has an ELO of 2840. He was born in 1990. He's from Norway. He's a GM. And we're going to click on his name. Now, a lot of people have a problem of how to decide what openings to choose. And there's a bunch of different ways. You can go by the most popular. You can go by, I don't know. There's so many. But one way is look at what the pros are using, and let's just trust that he's such a great player. He's the best in the world, that he's put in all the strategy and all the work in choosing these specific openings. So he must have really figured it out because he's the best in the world. And we're going to look at this tournament he played in around October 27th. I think it was a 4-day event. It's called Clutch Chess Champions. And there were 4 players. There was Magnus Carlsen, Fabiano Caruana, Hikaru Nakamura, and Gukesh I can't say his last name, but Gukesh. And Hikaru Nakamura is the second best player in the world, Fabiano Caruana is the third best player in the world, and Gukesh is the world champion. So if these openings were good enough to play against these guys, they must be good. So we're going to specifically take a look at Magnus Carlsen's games. And we're just going to see what openings he used. So here are all of Magnus Carlsen's games from the Clutch Chess Championships. And I'm just going to count. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So there's 18 games. So one thing you can do is on this website, you can click here and play the entire game. You can even use the engine to see if the moves were good. You can request a computer analysis, which honestly doesn't do that much on this website, to be honest. But you can definitely start the engine, and it'll tell you the rating of each move. But we're going to go back, and what we're going to look at is under this column called ECO. ECO, these are codes, and they tell you what opening he played in this game. So we're just going to be looking at that today, and we're going to take notes, or you guys are going to take notes. And if you have a photographic memory, then just watch the video a couple times, and then hopefully you remember all of them, or at least most of them. But we're going to get right into it. So there's 18 games, so I don't want to spend too much time on each game. I just want to get the meat and potatoes of what we're here to get. So you can go on and start memorizing these openings and start learning these openings. And I'm going to try to tell you a couple other things you can do on this website, which is pretty nice. So let's start with the first game. We're going to click on C71. And this is where you start taking notes. All right, so C71, he played the Roy Lopez Modern Steinitz Defense. And click. I'm just going to play through the opening. The opening is E4, E5, Knight F3, Knight C6, Bishop B5, A6, Bishop A4, D6. So for whatever reason, Magnus Carlsen chose this opening against the best players in the world, so it must be good. It must be definitely playable against anybody that we're going to play against. Now, what you can do on this website is you can go to the right over here, and it says played frequently by and the different players as white and as black. You click on the games, and you can go through all the games and see what they played, the different moves they played from this point, and you can make notes of that as well. And also over here it tells you the different openings subvariants that are from this C71 Ruy Lopez, and you can take notes of that as well. All right, so we went through the first one. Let's go to the next one. This one he played the B27 Sicilian defense, and this one is E4, C5, knight f3. The next one is the B36 Sicilian, the accelerated fianchetto Maroczy bind, and the opening goes E4, C5, knight f3, knight c6, d4, c takes d4, knight takes d4, g6, c4. Write that down. Next is c46. This is c46 three knights game, and the opening goes e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, knight c3. Learn that one. Next is c85, the Ruy Lopez, the exchange variation, doubly deferred, in parentheses, DERLD. I don't know who comes up with these names. I don't, but that's what they are. And the opening goes e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5, a6, bishop a4, knight f6, castle kingside, bishop e7, bishop takes c6. That's against c85. The next one is c90, which is also a Ruy Lopez. It's the c90 Ruy Lopez closed with d6. And the opening goes e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5, a6, bishop a4, knight f6, castle kingside, bishop e7, rook e1, b5, bishop b3, castle kingside, c3, d6. Next is the c67 Ruy Lopez, which is the Berlin defense in the open variation. And it goes e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5, knight f6, castle kingside, knight takes e4. Okay, write that one down. You can make these into flashcards. Okay, next is A07. This was played against the world champion Gukesh. A07 is the Rady King's Indian attack Barksa system. And it goes knight f3, d5, g3. Next. Okay, this one is weird. Okay. It's B07. It's the King's Indian. It's the Peart's defense. And you just have to watch this little table. I'll play it here. See, E4, D6, D4, knight F6, knight C3. Alright, that one was a little tricky, but we still got it. Alright. Just gotta remember what that one, I think that was A07. Let's see, B07. Nope, that was B07. Alright. Oh, actually, I might as well show you. There are. I'll go back to Beer Z7. There are resources on 365chess.com like this, the Perk Defense Guide, and there's all kinds of information about it. So you could learn a good portion about the Peert's defense. And there are other openings that have guides like this. So, and it's all free. All right. All right. Next is B27. B27 is the Sicilian defense, and it goes E4, C5, knight F3. Next is D23, the Queen's Gambit accepted, and it goes D4, D5, C4, D takes C4, knight F3, knight F6. Next is, it was C50, I believe. And it's the Italian game. And it goes E4, E5, knight F3, knight C6, bishop C4. That was C50. Let me just double check, make sure it was C50. Yep, C50. Next is E10, Queen's Pawn game. And it goes D4, knight F6, C4, E6, knight F3. That was E10 up here. Next is A45. A45 is also the Queen's Pawn game, and it just goes D4, knight F6. Next is E94. E94 is the King's Indian Orthodox variation, and it goes D4, knight F6, C4, G6, knight C3, bishop G7, E4, D6, knight F3, castle kingside, bishop E2, E5, castle kingside. That was E94. Next is C41, which is the Philidor defense. And it goes E4, E5, knight F3, D6. And again, there's a whole lesson here about it that you can read. Okay, I gotta remember which one that was. I think it was C41. Let me double check. Yep, C41. Okay. Next one is C50. C50 is the Italian game. We already got that, but just to see it again, it's E4, E5, knight F3, knight C6, bishop C4. I still don't remember what the code was. I think it was C50. And the last one is C67, which I think we already got as well. Yep, it was the Roy Lopez Berlin Defense Open variation. And just to see it one more time, it goes E4, E5, knight F3, knight C6, bishop B5, knight F6, castle kingside, knight takes e4. And those are all the games, those are all the openings he played at Clutch Chess Champions. I think that's definitely enough to start learning. Um, I'm going to make more videos like this to keep adding to the opening repertoire, hopefully, and give you more options. Because these guys, again, have already done all the homework. They figured out strategy-wise why these openings are so good, why it gives them the most chances of winning. They did all the work. They're smarter than we are, than most of us anyways, at least when it comes to chess. So until we become their level, the best thing we can do is copy them. That's what I think. That will get us a very far ways. So I'm going to make more lessons like this. I'm definitely going to do more of Magnus Carlsen. I'll probably do some of Hikaru Nakamura and Fabio Caruana and maybe Gukesh as well. Maybe if you have any comments about maybe Hans Niemann. Maybe I'll do some World Championship games from the past and the near past and the very long past. We'll see. There's a lot to cover. Also, like it says here that Magnus Carlsen opening repertoire with the white pieces is mostly the Roy Lopez, the Queen's Gambit Decline, the Petrov defense, and the Queen's Pawn game. And it has the ECO codes here. And it has a bunch of games they played it. So again, you can see what different moves they made from those positions. And then, of course, his opening repertoire with the black pieces. The Sicilian defense, the Roy Lopez, the Queen's Gambit again. So that should definitely give you a hint that those openings are very good. And so hopefully this gives you a lot to go on. This is just the beginning. Diving into the openings is very difficult and very complex. But hopefully we get enough different openings from the pros that we can build a repertoire based on them, unless you have a better idea. But I think this is the best way to do it. Because again, they're the pros, and for some reason, they're the best. And it means they're the best in all ways of chess. So, all right. I'm actually looking forward to looking at Hikaru Nakamura's games because he's played some low-level tournaments recently, and I'm curious what openings he chose against lower-level opponents. That's something I'm interested in. And, of course, Fabio Caruana, he's known for his opening repertoire, his opening preparation. So I'm curious about what I believe. I have faith in his choices as well. So if you haven't already, please like and subscribe, and leave a comment if you like, and enjoy the holidays. So I hope you have a good one. Take care.